Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Darkest Dungeon here on the HitmonChannel. I am Jacob,
I'm Noah.
and in this episode you'll be exploring a new area after progressing through the ruins again last time on our first medium-length mission, and unlocking 3 new areas amongst other things. So, our options are the Weald, the Farmstead, and the Courtyard. Noah, I'm going to have you pick which one we're going to explore for this episode, because I cannot decide.
You said farmstead, courtyard, or
Weald.
what?
Forest. Let's just get forest.
Let's go with courtyard.
Alright. I'm already scared.
Oh boy, was that not a good choice?
This quest is dangerous and longer than usual. Level 1 or 2 heroes are recommended. Still proceed?
Oh, maybe. Well, hang on.
I mean,
maybe the Weald.
okay, to the Weald then. Welcome to the. Okay, that reaction very much describes any time like I explore on my first playthrough of any given area. My experience going into any given area. It's like, okay, let's do this. I regret immediately choosing to do this. Alright, well, this first mission is going to be a short one, so I'm going to bring quite as much stuff. Just nice. That should work. Alright. Now the Weald works a bit differently from the ruins. Each of the various areas in the game works differently from the other
Corruption
areas.
has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves. Let us burn out this evil.
So the Weald the Weald has a lot of enemies that will do specifically blight damage to you. So it's a so if you're going to this area, it's very good to have stuff that can deal with that. And this is a bad battle to make this point, since only one thing here can actually take bleed damage. But everything here, like most of the main enemies for the area, are vulnerable to bleeding damage. So it's nice. So we just why it's nice to have Jester around, because one of his main attacks inflicts bleeding.
Grievous injury, palpable fear.
And are generally of, I believe, generally human, I think, words. I know I have a hard time mentally pinning down the Weald's main enemy type, because like the ruins generally has skeletons and such, but Weald is a bit wonkier. Anyway, so we have a new enemy type that just introduced one of its main things, the ectoplasm, which work like slimes in other games because they're slimes, just a lot more bony. Sorry. How they work is when they attack, if there's an additional slot open within the party, they have a chance to duplicate themselves and create another one. So they can sometimes get out of hand if you're fighting them for too long. And we're going to guard Jester because most of these guys hit the early rows. Guarding mechanic. And now we have Leper, who has a general topping ability, Purge, which can knock back enemies and clear corpses, Withstand, which gives him a bunch of buffs and then marks himself so that enemies are more encouraged to attack him. And then a self heal for both HP and stress. So for now, we're just going to hit things. Or not. That's in character. Okay.
In between recordings, I tweeted that screenshot from last time to Clown Depot, with a nice heartfelt message about how I named Jester after you in Darkest Dungeons because you're a funny clown man and you help relieve stress. So Yeah, and I saw that Doki Doki Literature Club was trending on Twitter, which makes sense because, as I mentioned in the last episode, at the time of recording these, they just announced Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. And I found more info on Dan Salvato's Twitter about what exactly the Doki Doki Literature Club Plus entails. First of all, I stated last time it was Switch, PS4, and PS5. Looks like it's also going to be on PC and Xbox. Makes sense. It's just the PS4, PS5, and Switch are what was pictured in the picture I saw. And apparently the main new content in the game is the side stories, which are little stories of friendship set outside the timeline of the original game. There are 6 of them, one for each pair of characters, since there's 4 characters, so showing how each pair became friends.
Handsome reward for a task well performed.
That's nice.
Yeah, also that like upscaled the visuals of the original game, with an HD upgrade, picture gallery, music player with music from the original, the side stories, and some guest tracks, including from the guy who composed the World of Warcraft soundtrack.
Oh, interesting.
Who's apparently a Doki Doki Literature Club fan. So there's that.
So, real quick, so in the last party we shuffled everyone's positions around a little bit. You may have seen new units earlier, but in the event that people's parties, like people's positions get shuffled around a lot, you can easily reset everyone to the default party order by clicking this button over here. So, just wanted to make that explicit. Okay, is there anything else, or?
No, that's pretty much it. He does say that there's more to discover on your own, so check out the game. So like, yeah. So, yeah.
Alright, neat.
I still like. I genuinely really like I know that game is meme to hell and back now, but I genuinely really like what they did with it.
Yeah, it's neat.
I'm excited to see this new content. I'm still pissed at that one asshole in my YouTube chat who spoiled the main hook of the game for me literally the day before Game Grumps got to that in their playthrough.
Aww, that's a shame.
I remember telling you about this. They literally like spoiled the fact that it took a dark turn with Sayori. Literally the day after that stream happened. This is why I don't. Well, I do stream Pokemon, but technically Liam's the one streaming it. This is why I don't stream Pokemon on my main channel anymore, because my god, those Pokemon streams I did on the main channel attracted a lot of really shitty chat members.
Wow, he's getting a lot of stress already. Jesus. Anyway, let's kill some of that. And introduce our new enemy type, the Fungal Scratcher.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, it is a human corpse overwroughten with an evil fungus.
No, the design's fine. I don't like the name.
Yep.
The name's very disgusting.
Yep. They're not. I don't think they're the first enemy that has protection, but one of the big things is the fact that they have start 33% protection, which means they reduce the damage taken by a third, which is sometimes hard to deal with. And they're standard melee enemies for the most part, but they get paired with another enemy we'll probably see later, and at that point they become a big problem. Wow, they really wanted to move the Vestal to the front of the line. Jesus. Alright. Well, in that case, smack the fungal scratcher. Smack
Oh
it
hey,
again.
not a movie like like it's going to be the running thing. I'll think of a movie to talk about at some point. But I finally got around to watching the first episode of Loki.
Oh, how was it? What'd you think?
Oh, did you?
No, I've seen it.
Okay.
Well-
Hey, hang on. I want to hear your thoughts first.
Okay. I really liked the first episode of Loki. It's a bit of a where it's like it's a bit of a shame that they kind of spent the first where it's like it's a bit awkward / a shame that the first episode was like had a decent portion spent essentially dedicated to having like a 30-minute version of a 2-movie character arc for Loki. But I overall really enjoyed like I enjoy the weird time bureaucracy like premise of the TVA that they're going with. The setup for Loki having to fight another more evil version of Loki and whatever their machinations are. Oh, spoilers, by the way.
Yeah.
And overall, there are a lot of moments throughout the episode that I just really enjoyed. So yeah, I guess those are my overall thoughts.
I thought it was dumb, but I kind of love how dumb it is. And apparently, like, a lot, like, you know, there's a lot of course, with any MCU project, you're gonna get a lot of people who are absolutely loving it.
No.
I've also seen a couple videos of just people tearing it apart.
Let me guess. People getting hung up on some of the time travel stuff, like that. Some of the setup.
Well, it's actually mostly people getting hung up about the fact that the stuff established with the time variance authority, basically says that everything in the MCU is predetermined and nobody has any free will. That's what most people are getting hung up on.
Really? That's the thing. I would have thought people would just be nitpicking the shit out of it, because like, I really like the episode. There's literally a lot of stuff that you can look at and go, this doesn't really make sense.
You know me. You know how much I nitpick Endgame. And yeah, as a result, this has some of those same issues. I will say the one thing I thought was bullshit about the idea of stuff being predetermined and like Loki basically breaking away from his intended path. And they actually give an excuse for the Avengers time traveling. Saying they were supposed to do that. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, they just admittedly kind of hand wavy.
That's real. Like, how dare? I mean, yes, they saved the world, whatever.
I think the idea that they were hoping to like just let hang in the air with that was they were supposed to time travel, and they like in the scene where like they lose the Tesseract, they were supposed to fail to get the Tesseract then, but Loki wasn't supposed to pick it up. Kind of a thing, but
oh yeah, that I didn't even think of it in that regard. I was just like, well, yeah, they kind of messed with the timeline to get those Infinity Stones.
but yeah, that is. Okay.
And Cap, what the Cap thing is still an issue with that. It's a bigger issue now. So he was supposed to go back and live out his life with Peggy Carter. That was his intended path. That wasn't going against the sacred timeline. By the way, I hate how they call it the sacred timeline. that term is just feels so corny.
I kind of love the corniness.
Yeah, no, exactly. I do kind of love how dumb this show is so far. I will admit the one part that got a big laugh out of me was the guy that when the guy said the guy at that in that one office space says sign here to confirm this is every word you've ever said, and Loki says what, and then they print out the paper that just says what, and he's like, sign this too. Like that part got a genuine laugh out of me. That was
and Save Daredevil has become irrational.
Reeling, gasping.
That's a bad sign for the movement.
I will say, boy. Also, I will say, I mean, like, obviously, we haven't watched Thor: The Dark World for the podcast yet. Spoiler alert: we'll be watching Thor: The Dark World for the podcast. But boy, Marvel just loves making what is widely considered their worst film one of the most important. Because I'm aware of that. I'm aware of the death of the mother from Thor: The Dark World, because they touch on that in Endgame. Boy, they love making that terrible film very important to everything going on.
Yep.
Which is just very funny.
Yeah. One of the big things that I found funny with the just with the Loki first at the TVA thing was the scanner for checking to make sure the person isn't secretly a robot.
Oh.
And Loki's comment of, do a lot of people not know they're robots?
Yeah, that's...
Which for comics is actually kinda yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like a Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And improvement.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think. Okay, I'm still a little weirded out by people getting upset about the predetermination stuff for movies that already. It's like a. I don't know, from a metatextual level, everything in a movie is predetermined. So it feels weird to complain that things are predetermined in a predetermined medium. But I kind of get the idea that, oh, if things are predetermined, then there is no stakes to anything. But if you're thinking in that regard, like, Infinity War was the only movie that wasn't predetermined in that same sense, because when you go into a superhero movie, you have the assumptions that, okay, these events are somewhat set in stone, these general events are somewhat set in stone, and one of those being that the heroes win.
And you know it's funny, everything in that world being like predetermined without free will actually like in canon works with the MCU formula.
Yeah.
Which is a total dig at the MCU formula.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't think any, like, you know, people are willing to admit the whole, like, same versus same thing.
Also, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's also. I feel weird about it because of. Okay, they set up the idea that there used to be a multiverse, and if the TVA fails at their job, there will be a multiverse again. And it feels like they're just setting up the idea that at the end of Loki, there'll probably be a multiverse again for whatever reason.
Well, it's I don't know. Someone was trying to explain it in one of the videos I watched. It was like, I think what they're going for is more so that there is still a multiverse. It's just that all the multiverses are set on their same are all set on a designated path and run linearly to each other, I guess.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like it's just like they don't want additional timelines being like diverged with people, you know, doing something against
safety.
Also, I guess, okay, the other the other part I thought was really weird, and apparently it's like related to like an unsolved real life event.
Oh yeah, the DB Cooper stuff.
Yeah, the DB Cooper stuff. I was like, why do we have this? like that whole scene. I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it is kind of a weird like in the context of the episode itself is weird and out of place, but it's kind of fun at the very least. Oh no.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm fine with like, these movies sort of going into like alternate history type stuff. I mean, but like at least when they did it in like Days of Future Past with Magneto being arrested for assassinating JFK, when in fact he was trying to save JFK because JFK was a mutant apparently. Like at least that made sense with the story.
Yes. Also,
Like this one's kind of just although it seems like one of the videos I watched was sort of theorizing that the woman on the plane is actually female Loki.
yeah, it's probably a bit of a stretch.
Wait, well, I think
Also, real quick. New mechanic, Death's Door. When a hero's HP is reduced to 0, they are placed
This is no place for
at Death's Door.
well, they just open that door real quick.
When they're at Death's Door, any damage that they take has the potential to cause them to immediately die. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
A character dying will cause a bunch of stress to every other member of the party.
Oh wait, and that's permadeath, isn't it?
Yep.
Wait, who just died?
Who did just die?
Wait, was it Save Daredevil?
Oh yeah, it was hashtag Save Daredevil.
Daredevil. Well, there goes that. Watch now, like.
Oh great! We got the tutorial bit for Blight after Blight killed one of the party members.
Yeah, knowing our luck, as soon as this episode goes out, we're gonna get a No Way Home trailer that reveals Charlie Cox as Daredevil.
Yeah. Also, Jesus Christ, someone please hit these goddamn spiders.
Oh. I mean, you do have Focus Blast in the party.
I know, but everyone else has also been missing them.
Okay. Oh my. Wait! No! And the hashtag Save Daredevil campaign was killed by a spider? What? Can't make this shit up! Oh man.
Well, I hope I remember the title of this episode, hashtag save Daredevil.
Oh man. Oh.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Well, that leaves us in a not great position. Ugh. We still have two fights that we need to go through. We're going to complete this.
Also, you know what I found out when like looking up, well, I was specifically looking up whether the episode had a post-credit scene, which it didn't. But what I found out by looking that up, the Miss Minutes.
Yep.
Voiced by Tara Strong.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah.
Hey, Tara Strong.
So was that?
She's a very talented voice actress.
Yeah.
So I thought the voice sounded familiar. And that was what.
Also, oh boy. spite of the adversity, progressing on regardless. It's already burning skin in the red. Someone's already dead, and you. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know. Oh boy. Anyway. Another thing. I also really loved the. I really loved the scene. Oh, great! The bleeding tutorial, wonderful. I also really loved the scene where Loki gets the Tesseract out of the guy, Casey or Casey was it?
Oh yeah.
Out of the guy's cart, and then has a existential crisis when he sees all of the Infinity Stones there, including duplicates of them.
Being used as paperweights.
Yeah. Also, I haven't gotten back to check this, but I saw in a comment somewhere. Apparently, the most common Infinity Stone in that drawer was the Time Stone, which is fitting.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
But there also would be like Soul Stones, which means someone had an awkward situation where someone someone sacrificed someone else to get the Soul Stone, and then the Time Cops came in to arrest them for it.
Oh man. Well, see, here's the thing. I totally thought that they were gonna tie that back into Cap.
Find it in
Oh.
I thought they were going to say like, oh, we got like they retrieved those from Captain, but I guess that would be going against their job because he specifically
You're supposed to, yeah.
brought the time stones back to where they were originally supposed to go. I wonder if this show will finally give us that Red Skull Cap. Probably not, but that little
probably not.
But yeah.
the bigger the beast, the greater the glory.
Okay, cool. Hello, friend. You're very close to us. It's bad for you. I was mission yet.
Obliterated.
Alright. That's notified inexplicably survived.
At least promises success.
Use this key on this chest. Cool. We needed a bunch of crests. And then, in spite of the foolishness, we shall progress on. Also, I think a lot of people can share the sentiment of I am waiting for Owen Wilson to inevitably say "wow" at some point during the series.
Oh yeah.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
Cool. Glad I saved for that. Okay, cool. And time for this terrible idea. Oh, great! 2 new enemies. We have the Rabbit Gnasher, who's a bit of a pain in the ass, and the Fungal Artillery, who are a different kind of pain in the ass. So how the Rabbit Gnasher works is they generally come in groups. They hit you and they cause bleed damage, and it's annoying. So we're going to stun him to try not to deal with that.
The way is
And he survives being stunned. Oh well.
we require only the strength to follow it.
Then the Fungal Artillery are another different kind of pain in the ass. How they work is that they can shoot. They have this attack, Mark Prey, which marks whatever character they hit. How marking works is there are a number of attacks that do extra damage to Mark, like Rend the Marked, and they also one of your characters being marked encourages enemies to attack that character. So more people. So basically, they mark a target, and then the the fungal scratchers will then spam render the marked on whatever characters are marked. They also have two blighting abilities, one that attacks the first two characters in the row, and the one that attacks the back two characters in the row, depending on where they're currently standing. So yeah, they're annoying.
I heard you say groping and fungal scratchers in the same sentence, and that just made it worse.
Yep. Oh,
That
and
made
here,
it so worse.
and here because I forgot his name already. Because Focus Blast is afflicted, he just refused to let me heal him. So we will instead use the turn to stun someone,
Precision and power.
which worked out. That's convenient. Blighted, which is not great. Hopefully survivable. Okay, cool. This first artillery will die on the next turn. This one still has some fighting though. Let's heal the liver, make sure he can not die. And then fail to kill the fungal scratcher. Yeah, I look forward to seeing where Loki goes with his stuff. Oh, and Clown Deeple's Resolve is being tested, and he's afraid. Fearful, whatever.
Fear and frailty finally claim their due.
Okay. This is going well. I say it's a joke, but it actually is, so... Okay, but without stun him, that won't stun him either. Great, cool, that was a waste of return.
Unforeseen, unforgiving.
Okay, but we killed him anyway. Sweet, cool, barely survived that despite losing hashtag save Daredevil.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
And cool, we found a map of the area after mapping out the entire area already. Anyway, let's get back.
Will yet be driven from our woods.
So we got some nice treasure from that, quite a number of heirlooms, and the speed stone, which increases speed, which increases likeliness to go ahead in the turn order, and other stuff. Cool. And now we got quirks. Hashtag Save Daredevil has gotten the unfortunate quirk of being dead. But what has Griffin gotten? Quick Draw, which means increased speed on the first round. And Clown Depot is afraid of Eldritch, which means he's rougher against Eldritch Abominations. Cool. Cool. Good. I'm glad.
She has paid dearly for her freedom.
And I just smacked the table. Okay, sorry about that. In case that came across in the audio. Alright, and now we got another DLC thing. We're just getting all of these right in a row. It's fun. A DLC class, the Shieldbreaker.
Shifting, swaying. She mesmerizes her prey before the final strike.
Shieldbreaker is a very useful class for a number of reasons. They tend to operate best in the front rows, and most of their abilities will move them. Yeah, all but one ability that they have will change their position in the row. So, in the row, their standard bread and butter attack is Pierce, which negates defenses, which is very handy, especially in very defense-prone areas of the game. They also have an ability that bypasses guard, which is very handy. They have abilities that blight, general ranged attacks that hit everyone, abilities that negate stealth, which is a mechanic we will eventually have to encounter, some buffs, and Serpent Sway, which is more buffs. They words. Sorry. They're commonly considered one of the more overpowered classes in the game because their ability to negate a lot of enemy defensive techniques. And we so now we've unlocked a new building, the sanitarium, which allows us treatments. There's two types of treatments: the medical ward, which allows us to treat diseases. Do we have any disease characters? We do not have any characters with diseases at the moment, but that'll be useful once we get those. Once that inevitably happens. And then we have the treatment ward, which can get rid of negative quirks. Like, so I could send Dismiss into the treatment ward, pay money to get rid of known cheat, and then and then the time we come back to here, he would no longer be a known cheat and would be allowed to go in the gambling hall. It's very useful, especially when you have a character. There's a character in here with one. Where are they? Who were they? Someone was soft. I think someone was soft. Anyway, apparently not. Quirk. Anyway, they're very useful for getting rid of especially hazardous quirks. Like, you know what? Let's send Emmett in for treatment. This might be a bad idea. Actually, yeah, it might be a bad idea, so let's not do that yet. But we will at some point just be sending in Emmett for treatment because his negative quirk, Aesthetic, makes him take less healing damage from his healing ability. Which is kind of ironic, which is amusingly ironic. Anyway, actually, we'll do that after Stagecoach. New classes. Ooh, wonderful. The Hound Master. Got this one.
A lawman and his faithful beast. A bond forged by battle and bloodshed.
Okay.
Speaking of Bond, I just saw an article. Apparently, No Time to Die has already broken 2 James Bond records without having come out. First of all, thanks to all the delays, Daniel Craig has now been James Bond longer than anyone else. Coming up on 16 years now. And also because some movie theater posted like a thing where they're going to be marathoning, like you can get tickets to watch a marathon of all the Daniel Craig Bond movies leading up to No Time to Die and including No Time to Die. And thanks to the runtime given for that and subtracting the runtime for the other Bond films in the marathon, they figured out that it is also the longest James Bond film.
Oh, neat.
At a whopping 160 minutes. Oh, you know how I feel about long movies. like movies that are longer than they need to be. Oh boy. I mean,
sorry, yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that movie whenever it comes out, but that's going to be a long one.
Anyways, before we get to naming our 2 new recruits, first I'm going to point out that we've now unlocked all the areas in the game that are consistently available. We'll have we'll have a special one that occurs down here for a special event later, but these are our main consistently available ones. The last 2 that we've unlocked are the Cove and the Warrens. So yeah, we'll be doing one of those next. But first, amongst other things, we have to name our new characters. So first, we're going to do the Shield Breaker. I've already gone over their abilities, but I also feel the need to mention that like each character, like class, is given a general backstory. These are hinted at in certain trinkets. We'll get to those later. But also each character, like separately, like there exist comics that just show like a brief backstory for each of the characters. The Shieldbreaker is kind of unique in that their backstory gets a lot of in-game explanation. Basically, how they work is they used to be a dancer, and then they escaped that, and they lost an arm in the process, like lost a hand in the process, and now they're here. That's the abbreviated version. So, what shall we name them? Also, real quick, the dancing thing is reflected in the fact that all their abilities change the precisions. Effectively, they're dancing throughout your lineup as they attack, which is a nice little, parallelism.
What's your character limit here?
Currently, it's 13. We have room for 2 more, but we can increase it, and we will be increasing it. Oh, sorry. In the slot, I didn't. For names, that's a better question. That many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 the characters for the name. Sorry for that confusion.
Okay, cool. Natalie Portman. There you go.
I'm going to need a slight explanation for that.
Black Swan, that's all it is.
Okay. And next, the Houndmaster. Houndmaster's special thing is he has a dog. The dog is his primary weapon. The dog is they will inflict the primary attack. 2 of the primary attacks inflict bleeding. They have a weaker, a useful, still useful because it's a stress healing ability, but they have a stress healing ability that is weaker than the Jesters, but still useful because stress. They can mark targets, they can stun, they can heal, and they can buff. Before you pick a name for him, though, I first want to establish something because I think you'll find it funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so each character class, they have a name. When they spawn in, they're given a name. And so, in the code, in files and whatnot, there is a name variable, and each class has a default name for their class that then gets swapped out for something else once they're actually put in the game. Each of these default names for the classes are a reference to something. So, typically a historical or biblical reference. For example, Dismas, if I remember correctly, is named after a thief that in the Bible is crucified next to Jesus.
Oh, okay.
And then the Flagellant, which we will eventually encounter, if I remember correctly, is named after the guy that introduced flagellation to the church.
Oh.
So, there's a nice bit of references here. The Houndmaster, their default name is Shag and Scoob.
Oh, I can't come up with anything better than that. Shag and Scoob. I can't come up with anything better than that. How am I supposed to come up with something better?
Which is why I felt the need to mention that before we picked the name, because I figured you might go with that once you learned it. How about adding 2 G's to Shag, so it's not Shag. Okay, cool. Alright, now we have them. I don't think there's anything else we're going to do in town besides healing people's stress, because Jesus Christ, people did not come out of that last mission in a good spot. Okay, Clown Depot is going to go pray in the cloister of Griffin, and then Focus Blast is going to get drunk off his ass. That almost theoretically rhymed. And then we'll have trinkets.
You sure you want to be getting the guy who's always missing drunk?
It's fine. He won't get any worse.
Okay.
Okay. And next. Okay. Next, I want to go to the farmstead, actually. Because it is a special area that I want to show off a bit. So we will take... I didn't think about who we're taking. We're going to take... I forgot. We're taking Natalie Portman, Dismas. Oh, I forgot. I got another Jester.
I was gonna say, I was gonna wait until you... Really? Oh.
I forgot I got a backup Jester.
Oh my gosh. I looking at him now, hang on. Uh one um hang on, I'm trying to find a thing. There's the you might actually remember off the top of your head. What's the name of the Shy Guy variant that's a jester in Paper Mario? That's like a
Ah, shit. Ah.
trying to find it.
Offhand, I want to say Jester guy, but that doesn't sound quite right.
Oh, is it just Groove Guy?
Might be.
I mean, it looks like the.
I mean, he also plays music, so that would work.
Yeah, I think it's Groove Guy. So go with Groove Guy. Because like this red makes him like, doesn't he look like a gritty reboot of a Shy Guy?
Holy shit, he kind of does.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Like this is Zack Snyder's Super Mario Brothers. Oh, did you hear someone released a new cut of the Super Mario Bros. Movie?
I heard about it, but I didn't look into it.
Yeah, apparently it's got like 20 or so minutes of extra footage that was deleted from the original film that they just found and restored. Like, okay, like, you know, props to them for that. That's cool. I haven't seen the original yet, but I own it.
All right. Now we're going to the farmstead. The farmstead is a unique area in Darkest Dungeon, and you might immediately get that impression by the fact that there's no food available for sale or going to it. That will change for higher level versions of the farmstead mission, but for now, there is a very good reason for that. The farmstead does not feature a dungeon crawl.
Oh?
Instead, the farmstead. Hold on. Sorry.
Blight had struck the harvest again that year, and the miller was desperate. He came to me, hat clutched tightly in filthy fingers, stinking of sweat and manure. Seated comfortably in my observatory, surrounded by telescopes and other delicate apparatus, I recognized his misfortune as an opportunity, and I agreed to lend him my expertise.
As you can see, there's no map, so no dungeon crawl. The farmstead is instead purely battles,
Oh.
and in its final variance is an infinite battle mode.
So this is basically what's the thing in Paper Mario? What's the thing that
I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm gonna be honest.
the place where you go and fight a bunch of enemies?
Oh, the Pit of 100 Trials?
Yeah, that.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that.
I forgot to take Dismiss's head off of Dismiss. Anyway, so here we got our first introduction to the stealth mechanic. How stealth works is if someone is stealthed, they cannot be targeted by single target attacks until they're unstealthed. So here, this scarecrow is stealthed. We can't hit him until he either reveals himself, or unless we hit him with a attack that hits multiple characters and he just happens to be in the way. So since we can't hit him yet, we are going to Bluest Advance, activate Repost, and then harvest. So as you can also see, these enemies have a new enemy type, the Husk. The Husk is unique to the farmstead area, which is nice. So you won't have to worry about that enemy type anywhere else. And there we got a repulse going.
As the enemy crumbles.
Now, how the farmstead works specifically is, as you kill monsters, this meter will fill up. Like eventually, once the meter fills up all the way, you leave the current battle area to go to the next one. As you go to the next one, as the sorry, having trouble with the words apparently. As you progress further and further through, you'll fill up more of these bars. Every time you fill up a bar, it indicates that you gain crystals, which are used to buy special relics. Which are used to buy special trinkets. They can also be exchanged for other heirlooms. Sorry. And
slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Hey, it's those crystals.
Yeah, and since there's all battle areas, they didn't include a torch mechanic. They didn't include the standard torch mechanic. Instead, each battle area has its own dedicated light type. So here we got the Farmstead's Miasma, which reduces healing received and increases stress received. So, additionally, a thing special, not unique, I guess, technically to the Farmstead, but special to the Farmstead, because I think it shows up at least one other place. Every time an enemy dies in the Farmstead, they will turn into a crystalline aberration, which, if you don't destroy, will blow up, doing a lot of stress and/or damage to a party member. So we're going to try and kill those as fast as possible.
Be gone, fiend.
And convenient, but while they do explode, they also have the additional benefit of whenever you destroy one, the person you kill said heals.
Ooh. Nice.
It's a nice little thing there. And now we wait for the Scarecrow to unstealth himself. There we go.
Oh my god, it's Cillian Murphy versus Cillian Murphy.
Yeah. And now as you see, we've started killing enemies already, so this meter has increased. Let's continue, shall we? Enemies will just continually respawn after you defeat them.
No acknowledgement to the shitty joke.
Sorry.
It was shitty.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, that's very unfortunate.
Okay, this horse looks shockingly like that one horse legendary from Sword and Shield.
You know what? I can see it. Also,
I don't remember the name of it. Because I don't know like half the mons in Sword and Shield.
Also, this horse is rough because one of its big things that it does is it uses the attack paw off the ground, which shoves it back in the rows and then puts it in stealth mode, and then afterwards I forget the name of the other attack, but it unleashes a secondary attack that hits everyone and shovels the party around. It can also cause bleed, so they suck. They suck a lot. Anyway, we're going to poison the Scarecrow. And also, enemies that die of statuses like poison and bleed will not leave crystalline aberrations.
Wait, hold the fucking phone.
Yep.
I just realized, I just learned that Calyrex, one of the legendary Pokemon introduced in the Crown Tundra, has two alternate forms where one of which it is riding those horse legendary. I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, it's got an Ice Rider form and a Shadow Rider form. I guess I forgot there were 2 of the horse legendaries, and I guess this one kind of looks like a combination of the 2, but I was specifically thinking of Glastrier, the ice type one. But it does kind of look like a combination of that and the ghost type one, Spectrier, which I didn't know existed. So, yeah, that's a funny image.
Yeah.
Also, going back to the Super Mario Bros. Movie for a little bit, because that might as well be the movie for today.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't seen it in its entirety, I've seen about half of it because back when I was dating that one girl who hated me for seeing Endgame with you, she got pretty into the Miserable Movie Monday stuff with me, with was on CoCom for a couple of them, including in season 1 she was on It's a Bird, It's a Plane, It's Superman, which is the Superman musical, and also Circus Island, the one you described as it looks like a Disney Channel show that didn't get picked up. And or got canceled after its first season or whatever. But it was also on Titanic: The Legend Goes On, Leo the Lion, Dark Dungeons. Excuse me, I got the name of the Chick Track adapted movie mixed up with this. They are similarly titled. But at one point we started recording a viewing of the Super Mario Brothers movie, because we actually found like a DVD copy of it at a gas station.
Oh.
Real cheap. So I own it. And we started recording it, but like my phone crapped out halfway through, so we lost the footage. And just never got around to re-recording it, which realistically that viewing might have been taken down for copyright anyway if we had finished it, considering that technically Disney owns that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be the problem.
But one part I remember very clearly from that viewing, was my reaction when they introduced Toad. Because in that movie, Toad is a street performer who gets arrested for playing music in the streets, and the people who arrest him call him Toad, and I was just immediately like, that's Toad?
Cuts on its own.
And it was, yeah, I was like, because I knew the movie butchered most of its characters, but I didn't realize Toad was just gonna be some random street performer who gets arrested along with the Mario Brothers.
Continue the onslaught.
It's like, oh, okay. But yeah, and I hope that movie they're working on with Illumination is good.
Yeah.
Knowing Illumination, it could very much go either way.
Yeah.
And improvement.
Boy, I do feel like Illumination gets more hate than they deserve.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they've put out, the minions are annoying. I will admit that. Like, the Minions movie was terrible. But, like, the first 2 Despicable Me movies were great. I love the Lorax movie, even though no one agrees with me. Like, I get people's complaint about like the marketing for that movie.
Uh-huh.
Like that, I get I get the complaints on that, but like the movie itself, I think is solid.
Destroyed.
You know, I mean, you know, Dr. Seuss movies are tough, you know,
Yeah.
because they're they're adapting very short children's books, with not a ton of story, so they have to pad the runtime quite a bit. Um, but I feel like the Lorax does the most to like make sure the stuff it's adding is actually adding to the story. Um, at least in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How bad can I be is a bop. Um, that's it. The equivalent that they cut from the film for being too dark is also fantastic. Um, there's an interesting video. The I believe it's called the cut song that would have saved the Onceler.
Mhm.
Where this girl talks about how this cut song biggering is basically just a better version of How Bad Can I Be that would have actually helped with the problem of characterizing the Onceler, because the movie very much tries to make him a sympathetic character, even though he's, you know, killing trees.
Yeah.
And the yeah, the cut song that could have saved the Onceler by the YouTube channel The Sin Squad. Go check out that video. But biggering is very much just like painting the Onceler as very much like evil. Like there's a particular line in the song Biggering, where instead of in How Bad Can I Be, there's a lyric that says, who cares if a few trees are dying?
Uh-huh.
Which, you know, obviously, you know, not a good dude to be saying that. But in Biggering, he instead says, who cares if some things are dying? Which implies disregard for more life than just the trees. Which is evil and rad, like, for the characters. So, I'm not saying like disregard for human life is rad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like how the fact that that song has the guts to go that dark, which granted, you know, they cut it from the movie because they deemed it too dark for kids.
Also, real quick, so for this first introductory mission, we just need you to fill the bar up once, and now that we've done that, we can exit the hamlet, collect the rewards, and see the different the screen, which you might notice is a little different looking. Because at the bottom it tracks the number of kills that you have, so in long running runs, the entire screen on these sides will just get filled up with these bodies. Nice. And I got from that 12 comet shards. Crystals I was talking about earlier. Which we might be able to buy something with. And the Heartburst Hood for the Flagellant, which we might eventually get. Who knows? Game. This is a bit late to be introducing the Resolve level up tutorial screen. Jesus. Oh boy. Alright, so only M has got a quirk. And that quirk is Paranomania. He's obsessed with the paranormal. I forget what that does.
Awash in blood and delusion, he bears the burden of 1,000 lifetimes.
Oh hey! Wouldn't you know? As soon as I brought him up, the flagellant appears.
There is power in the blood for those with the fortitude to pay the price.
So, Here he is. How he works is he does a lot of like. How he works is he hits relatively hard, but primarily specializes in causing bleeding damage, as well as a couple abilities that specifically activate when he is at low health, like this really solid healing ability, which deals a lot of damage from both him and someone else, but then decreases the amount of healing they can receive for a little bit of time. As well as a similar one that heals him while hurt attacking an enemy. He's neat. Uh,
Yeah.
you know what? And while his ungs were here, shall we name him?
Yes, and I apologize for this reference. Because he flagellants. I gotta name him Christian Grey. That's Grey with an E. Yes, there you go.
All right.
Yeah, I apologize for invoking 50 Shades of Grey, but I mean it just works.
Okay, real quick. Damn it. Fuck. Okay, we can't increase the roster size. Well, we have an replacing Man at Arms, an Abomination, who is my favorite class, I think. Despite me not using them a ton, honestly, and then the Antiquarian, who is also there. Noah, which shall we have join the party while we can't increase the roster size for this level?
Oh, I didn't realize you.
Because we're at the roster size limit after this next character.
I don't know which is the best here.
Depends on what you want to do.
Well, you're the one playing. I don't know how these work.
Okay. In that case, yes.
Wait, we can bring back Save Daredevil. Yes, do that.
All right, we will
bring back Save Daredevil.
Of youth may be spent, but his eyes hold the secrets of 100 campaigns.
Okay, but this time, name him. Oh wait, will you? Oh, can you fit Daredevil season 4 with the character limit?
I can if I abbreviate it.
Yeah,
Daredevil season 4.
Yes.
All right.
We did it, guys. We got Daredevil season 4.
All right. And with that, we're gonna call it here for this episode. So, in the next episode, oh no. In the next episode, we will be progressing on through another area. Until then, I have been Jacob.
I'm Noah. Peace.
Adios. Where was the? What was the? Hold on, I forgot the hotkey for stopping recording. This is awkward.